Hello and welcome everybody. Today we've got a package that just came in and it's really huge. So what could be in this very huge package? Let's find out. Clue in the background. Maybe you can hear my voice. I'm quite excited. This took actually quite a while to arrive. I was almost getting worried because usually my postal service doesn't take more than 2 days for anything to arrive at my house. And this one has taken almost a week now, so it got delayed. And what's inside the huge box? An envelope. Alright, so whoever packaged this meant really well. Then it's one of those classic ones where you can have these like brass pins that you push through. So I'm gonna open it carefully, just out of respect. Yeah, and I bought this scent used, so this is not a brand new fragrance because it is discontinued. Well, you already know by the title which one it is probably, but yeah, I'm very excited because these aren't really that easy to come by and they tend to be quite expensive when you find them. So, right, that's all. Well packaged for sure. Here we go. Frederic Malle. Batch code. It's Dries Van Noten or Dries Van Noten. And here's the little 10 ml. I can get it out. Surprisingly tight in here. There you go. So, as you can see, I'm going to put this up here. It's Dries Van Noten par Frederic Malle. It says the alcohol percentage on here. And there's the batch code. So this is a very rare discontinued 10 ml of the whole fragrance is discontinued, and this is a 10 ml of it. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Frederic Malle batch codes. So the last number is the year. So this is probably 2019 because the scent came out in 2013. So A59, right? 9 means that it's in 2019. And 5 means it's the 5th month. So this was made in May 2019, or that's at least the batch code for this fragrance. And just for comparison, so here's my synthetic jungle, and the number is AA0. So in that case, 0, it means this was made in 2020. And the A means that it's the 10th month, because after 9, they switch to letters and they do A for October, B for November, and C for December. That's at least how I understand Frederic Malle batch codes, if you've ever wondered. So this one is already 6 years old, this Dries Van Noten. And I've only got 10 mLs, maybe a little bit less than 10 mLs, maybe 9 mLs. But I got it for a decent price and I've been meaning to try this scent out. So I will spray it on my hand immediately because I don't have much of this, so I don't want to waste it on a strip. And these Frederic Malle sprayers, they just put out a lot of fluid. So you can see it all over my hand. I can already smell it, and it reminds me of something. I don't know for sure what it reminds me of. What does it remind me of? It's on the sweet side. It's very spicy. It's woody. It's got it reminds me a little bit of, almost as if it has immortelle in it, because it has slightly curried facets, but it's fruity. So it reminds me, I'm thinking of a little bit of Fougère Bengale by Parfum d'Empire. This also has like a big cinnamon note, I would say. Maybe some slightly gingery facets. Something creamy, roasted. Like I said, this is this kind of feeling that I get from this Parfum d'Empire Fougère Bengale. as well as a little bit of the current Dior Au Noir. So they all have this creamy, spicy feeling. They all, to me, there's like a vanilla in there that lends some creaminess, maybe some woody notes and something spicy. And I think in both Au Noir and Fougère Bengal, there's a Immortelle note, which is this like very spicy curried flower. I don't know if it's in here. This one leans a little bit more on the fruity side, maybe. Like dried fruits. Maybe something like cranberry or raisins. Maybe it's closer to raisins, probably. But it's very creamy, this one. I would say immediately quite pleasant, although that's just me because I like spicy scents. I think if you don't like spicy scents, this might be quite off-putting. It has this kind of it is sweet, but it has this almost savory spiciness to it, like these cooking spices. And the smell of some aged wood, dry aged wood. It's also got a little bit of earthiness, almost going into the direction of a tobacco note, but not quite there. There's this really creamy texture in the back. And the one thing I know about this fragrance is that it's supposed to have a sandalwood note in it. And I think that's the creaminess that I'm getting here. And it's quite impressive, actually. By the way, it's dried down and you can still see the oil. So this is probably fairly highly concentrated. This has 78% alcohol. But one thing you should always be aware of is that even if it says 78% alcohol, there's often a bit of water in here. So that doesn't mean that all of the 22% that are remaining are fragrance oil. Some of it may just be water. So yeah, it has this kind of bready feel. So this is like, I don't know if you've ever smelled like dark bread. So like we have a bread in Germany called Pumpernickel, and it's like a very dark, dense rye bread. It's made from whole rye, and it's slightly fermented. So I'm getting this very dark breadiness, and it has this like molasses, this dark molasses smell. So this is what I'm getting, like a dark molasses fermented bready smell, but with a very creamy, milky, vanillic spiciness. And some earthiness in the background, and this slightly tart fruitiness. So there's actually a lot going on in the scent. But yeah, the most immediate comparison I would say in my mind is Fougère Bengal, although these are very distinct scents. And Fougère Bengal is maybe more herbal. This one is not as herbal. And this one is way creamier. This is probably one of the creamiest scents I've smelled at this point. Actually, maybe there's a touch of Chanel Egoiste in here as well. So there could be, yeah. I haven't smelled Egoiste in a bit. I just sprayed it on at the Chanel counter. And Chanel Egoiste has this very big cinnamon and this very creamy sandalwood note as well. And vanilla, lots of vanilla. So those three things tie these two together, although this one here maybe smells a little bit. So the Chanels are very they seem very polished, right? This one smells maybe a bit more experimental, avant-garde, maybe you could say. Interestingly, I'm getting a slight smokiness now as well, just a touch. So yeah, I think if you told somebody that this was a tobacco scent, I don't think they would doubt what you're saying. This has the spicy, earthy woodiness that you get from tobacco, with vanilla and as well. But this one just is way creamier than anything that I've smelled before in terms of tobacco scents. There could be also a little bit of iris or violet that's giving me this fruitiness that I talked about earlier. I always get a little bit of like a purple fruitiness from iris violet. So I'm thinking like blackberries, maybe in that direction, kind of. Blackberries, prunes, and raisins. In this case, since it's drier. Very, very interesting one. This creaminess is what makes the scent to me. I think that's really the most differentiating feature, the most special feature of this scent. All right, let's have a look at the official notes on Parfumo. So the notes are saffron. Let me change this real quick. Yeah, here we go. Saffron, Calabrian lemon, carnation. So that carnation often has this clovey character to it as well. Nutmeg. Oh, nutmeg. Actually, yeah, that's true. There's a big nutmeg note in here. Bergamot, Mysore sandalwood, patchouli, jasmine absolute, vanilla, Peru balsam, sulfurol, and musk. I don't know what sulfurol is exactly. Sulfur, I don't know, maybe it gives you a sulfuric quality. That's maybe what I'm reading as something smoky together with the nutmeg. And a jasmine helps with the smoothness. Jasmine always, to me, if it's done like if it's sambac, jasmine sambac, it adds like a smooth texture to it. Yeah, this is a very interesting combination of scents. And now that they say saffron, it's quite evident that the saffron lends this kind of slight tanginess. Saffron to me has a tangy feel often to me. And it's not, is it leathery? It's on the edge. It's this, this didn't immediately read as a leathery scent to me. Maybe if I had a different preconceived notion, I could see something like a, like a queer beluga type of leather vanillic feel to it, although this is way spicier than queer beluga. And these florals actually really give this some brightness to it as well. So this has all these darker, earthier, spicier facets, and then these florals come in and add some airiness, like this jasmine hedione, carnation type of airiness. Yeah, the story behind the scent is that Dries Van Noten, they got bought up by or at least the fragrance portion got bought up by a competing brand. So because Frederic Malle is owned by Estée Lauder now, since 2015, they couldn't keep producing the Dries Van Noten scent, and now Dries Van Noten has their own line of fragrances that are produced by a different company. Yeah, and that's why this one had to be discontinued, which is a shame because this is different from any of the other scents that I smelled in Frederic Malle's catalog. It's very different. And I think the perfumer, by the way, is Bruno Jovanovic. Let me check. Yep. Who also, I want to say, did Monsieur. I think he did at least one other Frederic Malle scent. And he also did some other stuff for, I think he did some amouages, and like he's quite well established. But this may be one of his more calmer compositions, at least from the ones I know. He usually does very big, very strong scents. It is strong, but it's not overpowering. This kind of has a more zen quality to it. And now the sandalwood is really blooming, and all these other spicy notes give me this feeling of like this note of sandalwood that I know from like an Asian market. You know, when I went to China and I went to a shop, these are all these different smells, these spices, the sweet stuff, and these jasmine tea notes, as well as this creamy sandalwood that's just beautifully rendered here. And it leans dry, but it is creamy, so this doesn't have this, scratchy sandalwoods. This is very soft and creamy and has this milky quality. Yeah, I'm fairly impressed. I'm very, very glad I managed to pick this one up, because unfortunately it's not as easy to find, and I didn't pay an arm and a leg for it. Don't pay an arm and a leg for these. They're still out there, still some people selling them for reasonable prices, like this kind person did. And these 10 mLs, probably I will try to make them last as long as possible. I think I could be fine wearing 2 to 3 sprays of this and smell it for a while. This seems fairly highly concentrated. Like I said, you can still see the oil slick on my hand. So I don't think this is going to be a huge projector, but I think it'll stick to your skin. It'll go like even creamier and smoother in the dry down. That's what at least the direction it's going in. But I will cut the video for now. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you have any experience with Dries Van Noten, do you think they should bring it back? Do you think there's any way they could bring it back? Please let me know. And thank you so much for watching. We will see each other in the next video. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and have a great day. Goodbye.